Welcome to Panels and Borders. I'm Dominic, and this is another episode of Road to Dune. So, with the release of Dune coming quickly on us here in December, you're going to see more and more articles about merchandise that's going to tie into the movie and tie into the books and things like that. So, this article that I'm going to talk about came out a few days ago, and it's talking about a new Dune tabletop RPG that's going to be coming out. And this is something that I've been waiting on news for this for a while. I was hoping they would do this. So let's get right into it. So the article is by Polygon. I'm not going to go through the whole article because it's actually pretty long, but I'm just going to hit some key things that I think are relevant and interesting and worthwhile talking about. First, details on the Dune tabletop RPG, including its diverse list of authors. Developer Modiphius will draw from Frank Herbert's books. So right off the bat, that's a good sign that they're going to draw from the books. Frank Herbert's Dune is having a major comeback with a new movie adaptation, a streaming series spin-off, multiple video games in development, and now a massive tabletop role-playing game project from Modiphius Entertainment. British developer and publisher excels at licensed tabletop games including Fallout, Wasteland, Warfare, Star Trek Adventures, and upcoming pen and paper RPGs based on the Dishonored and Homeworld franchises. Now it's working with the Herbert Estate and Legendary Pictures on Dune: Adventures in the Imperium. The game will be based on Modiphius' 2D20 system. According to details shared with Polygon, it will ask players to join one of the major houses of the Landsraad, such as House Atreides and House Harkonnen. Alternately, players can also create their own house within the Padishah Imperium. So I want to talk about that for a second. Now, I'm not a very well read, or I'm not a very experienced D&D player, so I don't know nothing about systems and all that. I've only played like a handful of D&D games in my life. I picked up the Expanse role-playing game. I'm still trying to figure out the gaming system for that. So I don't know if that's a good system or if it's a bad system. I can't tell you, but if someone in the comments section knows if this actually is a good gaming system for a role-playing game, let me know. But what I do think is cool that they talked about here is you can create your own house within the role-playing game. Well, that's a really cool feature. I really like that. That would be fun to do. And if I was playing the game, that's something I would probably, that would be a goal I would move towards, is actually creating my own house within the Imperium. While the Byzantine politics of the Great Houses contain more than enough potential adventure, Modiphius said in an email, the gameplay will cover all manner of agents, spies, mercenaries, and even criminals that serve the agenda of your house. So it seems like a pretty wide array of characters you can create. The related licensing agreement was brokered by Genuine Entertainment, which is managing the Master Tabletop Gaming license in partnership with Legendary and Gale Force 9 CEO John Paul Briscotti. GF9 recently released its own Dune tabletop game, a remake of the 1979 strategy classic Frank Herbert's Dune. Modiphius' own line will begin rolling out this holiday season and throughout 2021. The beta test is kicking off soon, and interested players can head to the Modiphius website for more details. So I actually have that board game, and I haven't played it yet. But it is just a gorgeous board game, like the board and the pieces, everything. It's a really nice looking game. They did a really good job on it. And then, and now it just kind of talks about the novel, and then it talks about the previous adaptations that were made for film, and how it was mostly white actors, and how the new film is going to have a much more diverse cast, which is something, if you follow my channel, this is all old news. But now it talks about the writers, and it talks about two particular writers, and that they got hired for this game. So I want to talk about them because their backgrounds are very interesting. So Modiphius has similarly cast a wide net when looking for its own talent. One notable team member is writer, now this is an Arabic name, and I'm going to butcher the name, so I'm not even going to say it. An Arabic American of Palestinian descent with a background working in the oil industry. Counterintelligence and political consulting. He now works as an energy and security scholar, and has also been writing for Vampire the Masquerade since 1999. And so the article below talks about how he was a huge fan of the 1984 David Lynch film. He liked that movie, and he loved the original books, and he had a real deep connection with the lore and the story because he's part Algerian, and he actually spent a lot of time with his family in the Sahara Desert. So, so this book really connects with him on a lot of different levels. So now, what I find really interesting is the background of this guy. He worked in the oil industry, counterintelligence, and political consulting. If you were just writing for role-playing games, that would be a really cool job. But this guy's got like some really actually interesting jobs. And he now works as an energy and security scholar, and has been writing, 20 years experience writing for RPG games. So for a game like Dune, that you have all this political maneuvering, that's like a really excellent background to draw from. So I think they really got a really good writer here. So they talk about this other writer too. Another notable member of the writing team is Chris Spivey, a military veteran and an African-American author. He's best known for Harlem Unbound, a take on H.P. Lovecraft's Cthulhu mythos set in the 1920s New York. The pen and paper RPG was nominated for the Diana Jones Award in 2018, as well as multiple ENnie Awards. And then he just goes on to talk about how he's always tried to make his writing material as inclusive as possible and accessible to everyone. And he always found the Dune novels very white male focused, so he wants to take this chance to bring about more diverse characters for the RPG, I guess. Well, what's interesting about this guy is he's a military veteran, so that's a really interesting background to draw from, because he's got, now what he did in the military, I don't know, it doesn't say, but still, if he has that kind of experience, that's really good experience to draw upon. So these two writers have really good, interesting backgrounds that will, I think, really help them write for this game and make the writing of the game really, really good. So I'm excited about this game. So my final thoughts on the game. I'm going to buy this as soon as it comes out. So I'm already sold on this game. And this is something that I want to get into more RPG, tabletop, pen and paper games. And starting with The Expanse. And then I want to move in and do the Dune one as well. Just seems like a lot of fun. And I've never really got into Dungeons & Dragons before, to be honest, and the reason is because I'm not a big, huge fantasy fan. I don't mind fantasy. It's not that I don't like it, but my main thing has always been science fiction. I love science fiction. And most of the people that I knew that played RPG games always played the fantasy settings, which I didn't mind. But I was always more interested in playing something that was more set in a science fiction world. So the fact that we're getting a Dune tabletop game, it's really good. And now the last thing I want to talk about on this game is it sounds like it's going to be coming out after the film. So now, is a lot of the imagery and artwork they're using for this new game, is it going to be based upon the new film? So I'm wondering if that's going to be the case. But I don't know, or will it be all just original artwork? So, but I mean, really cool news. I can't wait for this game to come out. So that's everything I got to say in this video. Let me know what you think in the comments section, and I will see you at the next one. Thank you to all of my subscribers, and thank you for watching this video. And if you're new to the channel, like, subscribe, and share. And don't forget to hit the bell icon for notification when new videos are uploaded.